Good day, welcome to Biafran National Television and Radio, BNTVR, Voice of the Rising Sun, official broadcast station of the state of Biafra. This is the brief, built on truth, courage and discipline. I'm your host, Pointer. On today's edition of Brief, we'll continue with the analysis on the address by His Excellency General Innocent and ORJI, GCSB, Head of State, BPG and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the State of Biafra, on the 4th commemorative anniversary of the State of Biafra on ORJI for Thursday, 30 October 2025. This is the part 2 of the series. I continue. In his address, he said, since 1967, a state of occupation of Biafra has existed and has continued to exist, and being recommitted and reaffirmed totally on late General Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu's Tuesday, May 30, 1967 Biafran Independent Declaration. General Innocent N. ORJI, GCSB, Excellency, stated that the people of Biafra are determined to exercise the natural and legal rights to freedom and liberty, while thanking the Most High God of Biafra, Chukwuka Biama, for the tireless effort of two Biafran leaders like Chief Ralph Wazirike and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and other pro-Biafran leaders in Biafran land and diaspora in their effort to restore the sovereignty of Biafra, that is answering the call of the Biafran people to build a society that honors human dignity and affirms the pride and purpose of her citizens. His Excellency stated that the Biafran provincial government is the bona fide authority, that is the bona fide government of the state of Biafra, governing the peoples and state of Biafra, and appreciates those two leaders, which is Chief Ralph Wazirike and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, for their services. The Biafran government, which is the Biafran provincial government, makes neither war nor peace with the entire people of Nigeria. Rather, we, the indigenous Biafrans, exercise our natural national political rights and rights, supported by the African Union Charters, United Nations Charters, and other international laws, which stipulated the right to self-determination. He said that the effective exercise to self-determination and self-governance by the people and nation of Biafra will end the state of occupation and subjugations by Nigeria. He recalled the years of Biafra, Nigerian civil war, and violence in Nigeria that disturbed the conscience of all the civilized peoples of the world. His Excellency confirmed the recommendation and accordance to the power and authority that was bestowed on the Biafran provincial government, which is the government of the state of Biafra, as supported by the United Nations General Assembly resolutions A/16-2695 of 12 and 13 September 2007. That is the declaration, the United Nations Declaration on Indigenous Peoples' Rights, Article 3, Article 4, Article 5, and 6. The Article 3 states that indigenous peoples have the right to self-determination. By virtue of their right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. Article 4 of the UNDRIP states indigenous peoples, in exercising their right to self-determination, have the authority to autonomy or self-government in matters relating to their internal and local affairs, as well as ways and means for financing their autonomous functions. Article 5 states indigenous people have the right to maintain and strengthen their distinct political, legal, economic, social, and cultural institutions, while retaining their right to participate fully, if they so choose, in the political, economic, social, and cultural life of the state. Article 6 states every indigenous individual has the right to a nationality. These are articles from the United Nations Declaration on the Right of Indigenous Peoples. That is, we as indigenous Biafrans have indigenous right over our land. By virtue of being indigenous, we have the right to self-determination. And if you are a party to the signatory, that is, you're a party to the signatory of the United Nations, which Nigeria, the occupying Federal Republic of Nigeria, is obligated to, there is an opening on exercising that indigenous right to self-determination, which includes matters relating to internal and local affairs and means of financing it. If you take a close and broader look at the Biafran provincial government, you are going to find out that the Biafran provincial government, BPG, government of the state of Biafra, is exercising that particular right to self-determination constitutionally or by international law. Following an international law on that right to self-determination covers the Biafran provincial government as that administrative and territorial power which gives constant update to the United Nations. As indigenous people, we have that distinct right to strengthen our political, legal, economic, social, and cultural institutions. Why the occupying Nigerian state ought to give the full backing and respect, because it's our right as indigenous people to participate fully, if we so choose, with whatever the occupying Nigerian state is bringing up in their political, legal, economic, social, and cultural institutions. And by virtue of Article 6 of that United Nations Declaration on the Right of Indigenous People, every indigenous individual has the right to a nationality. Before Nigeria, where were our ancestors from as indigenes of the land? That is before the creation of Nigeria. You have to start from slavery, because it was from slavery to colonialism and then so-called independence. The respect to the right to self-determination has to do with indigenous people. How were indigenous Biafrans able to govern themselves before slavery, colonization, and then the so-called independence? That is what the Biafran provincial government, BPG, government of the state of Biafra, is re-establishing for indigenous Biafrans. The right to self-determination is an indigenous right that in whatsoever way is accorded to the Biafran Provincial Government, BPG, Government of the State of Biafra, to administrate over indigenous Biafrans. This brings to conclusion part 2 of the address by His Excellency General Innocent N. ORJI, GCSB, Head of State BPG and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the State of Biafra, on the 4th year commemorative anniversary of the State of Biafra, on ORJI Afon, Thursday, 30th October 2025. We'll continue with this series in our next broadcast of brief, built on truth, courage, and discipline, on Biafran National Television and Radio, BNTVR, Voice of the Rising Sun, official broadcast station of the State of Biafra. I'm your host, Pointer. Take care.